not seen, I can stop you being heard if that becomes a problem. Hi. Okay? So, be aware. I also didn't do the thing with the thing, so it's going to be a little wonky, but that's okay. Oh, and I have to do the thing, or Jeff will get mad with me. Hi. Wait, what? R-O-G-U-E, Rogue Trader. Oh, for fuck's... I'll fix it, just, Also, hi. Cool. Are you gonna come on video?
Yeah, once I get my cam.
That's fair. Okay. I will fix the Majiggy What's It while you do that. Also, I was gonna do Rob, he, him as your, when I put the cast list up. Is that cool?
Yeah.
Or would you rather go Ducat? I could do he, they, I could...
You could put me as character. I don't care. Whatever works.
Okay.
I put Decat just so you know who this is.
Yes, I know. Koblick. You're right, I did put the vowels in the wrong order. Okay. Yep, that's it. Beautiful. Okay, fixed the... Good. Everyone in the... Oh, we have 4 people watching. Hi, everyone. We're a little bit gathering, right now, but, welcome to the Majiggy What's It. Appreciate you all being here. As we do our last minute setups, our players are just getting started. I didn't check with you, so I have the 3 character sheets. So tell me, since we're doing this last minute, who are you playing? Are you playing, Janthine, the Clanky Tech Priest? Are you going to play the... Because we could do another... All of the Tech Priests weirdly have very good fellowship. None of them are Tyranids. We have a Seneschal, who's actually really good at, like, the whole... Can Tyranids be diplomatic, though, if they are the high... I mean, unless you... Actually, that would make you a, No, what's the technical term for Tyranids? There is a technical term, for this, and they are evil and generally not a good sign. Well, yeah, that's true. I'm blanking on the, Yeah, it is Tech Priest. Oh, that's... Janthine? Okay. I was gonna send you with the Seneschal, but go for Janthine. Let's do it.
Why the other one?
Well, because A, we don't have a Seneschal, and B, he is weirdly good at the commerce stuff, but also, but that's short-sighted. Janthine's also, Janthine's also pretty cool. The Seneschal, because we don't have a Seneschal yet, essentially, but then we also do have a Tech Priest, but also Janthine's really cool, and we have so many Tech Priests on board, so we should have people play them all, hypothetically. It's because... And Janthine actually has an interesting, backstory. And, and if we have Janthine and Harmon, it would be kind of cool, because the... And, Reapers agreed in subsequent, games to play Harmon, so it would be... So yeah, it's your call. If you want to be Janthine, let's do it. Let me get Janthine's character sheet.
I don't know enough to make a qualitative decision. I was just randomly picking.
Alright. Okay, let's see. Janthine. Let me get Janthine's character sheet up. She does have incredibly high, what's the technical term? Fellowship. She has 44 fellowship as a, tech priest, which is, explorador, technically. Which also makes her tech priest. And she's, cool. Like that. There we go.
I picked a couple skills that affect explorers, so I can command you around.
Yeah. Oh, you also know how to speak binary and Tecnolingua, and I don't know what pantomime does, but that's the one fellowship skill you got. But you have really high fellowship, so
It means I'm really good at charades. He pretends to speak like it.
Oh yeah.
Non-verbal communication.
You can also burn a reaction to gain plus 10 on all weapons or ballistic skills for the round. So, or you have to make a tech use test, which you are good at, but you can get an extra, I told my rate. Alright.
None whatsoever.
Alright. Are you ready to be Janthine? Because once you have the character... Yeah. I mean, I suppose I could give you two, but... as a temporary Janthine, but...
I feel like I'm on the cusp of a
I mean... Alright. You ready? I'm sending you the character sheet now. And then I will... Oh, for fudge... Okay. I mean... Oh, you also have a servo skull, named Kato. We have another servo skull in the party now. So that's cool.
despite my 100% inexperience, I did play best time. Yeah. So I mean, I know what a server.
There you go. You have one. His name is Kato. Follows you around. Personality, we don't know yet. That's up to you. And I sent it along. I'll walk you through it. All right. Are we ready, everyone? Okay. Let me do this. And I still have 3 people. Okay. All right. Okay. Yeah, there are official character sheets. I have a visceral dislike of official character sheets, personally, so I did them like this, but I can, prep you an official character sheet later if you want one. That is all of the information that would be on a character sheet presented in, form. Yeah. But yes. So, all of that, then,
Just to let you know that the rest of my communication, yeah, now it's gonna
okay. Bloop. Let's see. So there's that. There's this. It's about the best I can do, other than maybe go,
I'll communicate through join me.
I think that is a very cool idea. Alright. Got this. Got that. Let me just double check the... There we go. Now, we're going to, go to the Majiggy What's It thingy. Yep. Okay. So far we got 3 people, that's okay. You actually should not be able to do it now. Okay. Alright. And we should, if I'm going to do this right, go to here and get this up behind the scenes, or you guys will not be able to have anything useful. So, let me bring our intrepid heroes on, and then I will fix the Majiggy What's It behind the scenes as well. But let me get this up behind the scenes so I can see what we're doing. Then open up OBS, and we are going to be seen and heard, everyone. So, be ready. Y'all ready? To be seen and heard by the masses. Boom! You're seen and heard. I'm seen too. That's okay. We have 4, so I think we're doing a great job so far. Yeah, here's good. Put you in a good position, and that puts that spot open for there when I fix that. So, welcome everyone. Hi, I have now our intrepid players. You can wave if you want. We have Sigland. Well, why don't we go around... Oh, I know what I did. I know why I am being an idiot. Yes, this is why I am an idiot. Okay. Fixed it. But then that... Nope, that's entirely not... Wait, why is that? Okay. So we can fix that. In the meantime, why don't the players say a little about yourself? Why you're, yeah, there's a whole thing on how to do that better, but I'm not going to. We're going to do that. Yeah, so we're going to start at the top with Sig, then Telex, then Rob. A little about yourself, a little about your character, and, yeah, start with that. Well, I set this up.
Jeff, also known as online in various places.
Oh, I don't have your shout out ready.
Johan 45th. The long line of Johan, obviously. He's one of the arch-militants of the ship. About myself, I'm an artist and 3D artist, and I also I run an ice cream truck during most of the year, but obviously at this point I don't sell a lot of ice cream because it's middle of winter, and that's myself. I guess I have to do the whole passing of the baton motion to Celia.
Yeah.
Alright. I'm Celiax. I'll be playing our resident psyker, Finnick. Just a schmo from southern Minnesota. I work in a factory making food, so not much else to tell there.
Other than being awesome. That's an important factor you always leave out. Alright.
Let's see here. So, on screen it says Kai, that's my name, that's just a common moniker that I use. The real name, Rob, I am playing a character named Janthine. Is that right?
Yeah, Janthine.
Janthine. I have absolutely zero experience playing Ghost Trader. First day. So, that'll be a learning curve for me.
Yeah. Rob's been a really good sport for coming in last minute and acting as a backup tech priest. Oh, we're gonna have multiple tech priests we can do.
Yes,
Sorry.
I am apparently a straight cisgender woman tech priest.
Yes, Janthine. She is, grew up on a planet called Visaria. Fun fact. There is an interesting story to be told there. But yes. You are on the ship doing tech priest stuff. You know, like you do. And, yeah, you're on the ship doing tech priest stuff. And, alright. You get a call from Odette. You get a little beepy message from Odette, who is the she's an arch militant as well on the crew, and she's kind of becoming the one who's organizing this madhouse, because someone needs to organize everyone, and Odette kind of fell into that role. And so she gives you get a little ping in your microbead. I'm guessing you're wearing your microbead. If you're not, it's gonna ping, and you're gonna have to like go get it. If you, yeah, so you get a little ping. Jantine. Hey, Jantine.
Yes.
Hey, small favor to ask you. We have a bit of a situation with someone from the down below got. It's a ugly injury. You're not a doctor, but Cutter is, and they were gonna send him down to do the whole. Well, them. They were gonna send them down to do the whole on planet thing. Now that we're Koblick. And you're also a tech priest, and you're also good at talking to people. Can you go instead?
Sure. I recommend it. I recommend amputation.
I'll tell him. I'll pass that along to our doctor friend.
Okay.
Yeah, I would think they'd go for the amputation, because you guys can then put the nice, fancy... Well, I mean, it's not like I can afford the great one, but...
Absolutely. I'm all for augmentation through mechanical means.
Yeah, maybe it's a sign from the Emperor. Or the Omnisire. Anyway. Cool.
Praise his name.
Alright. And... Johan, you get a ping from Odette.
What's on your mind, Odette?
We're here at Koblick. Farina wanted me to tell you.
Excellent. So what are we doing here?
Well, it was your idea to go get Finnick real armor? That was your grand plan?
About time.
Yeah,
It's getting annoying having to keep having to wait for him to heal up.
exactly.
You've got so many missions, so many brands in the fire that we need to take care of.
I-
Have him constantly getting shot up.
That's not a real saying. But, since it was your idea, you're going down to get his armor. I'm sending you... Cutter's doing surgery right now. So I'm sending you with Jantine. You know Jantine, right? Yeah. So I'm sending the two of you down, and you can take Finnick and... whoever else you want, right? Take Sergeant Verbank and... whoever else you want. I'm gonna give some of the rest of the crew leave, if that's... Seems like a sensible plan, right?
No, man, I'm sure it'll help boost morale after all those weeks you just spent in the war.
Yeah,
Need some time off.
exactly. So,
Be careful. This isn't a. I don't remember anything at all about this planet, but if I do, it's that it could be a slightly dangerous.
it's a civilized world. It's called Koblick. I'll write you up a little summary on a data sheet, and send it to your slate, because I'm nice like that.
I know, aren't you? You are a great help, okay? I don't tell you how much I appreciate your work. I'm making a charm check so that I can
Oh?
improve her relationship toward me. Isn't she mad at me?
Mad is the wrong word. She's kind of settled to perpetually annoyed. But,
I'm trying to raise that a lot.
okay, alright. You can make a charm test. I'll allow it. I...
Just check. Go ahead.
Yeah.
I have charm plus 10,
Ooh.
and I also raised my fellowship, so I have a 43 fellowship.
Oh, wow, you've almost sized Jantine. I don't know why you never aren't the face of the party. Okay, go on.
So what do I have to do?
It is a charm test. So roll your D100, and charm is plus 10. So fellowship, what's your fellowship is plus 10?
My fellowship is
So that's 53. Yep. If she fails spectacularly, something bad will. I don't know what will happen.
I need to show. Where's my camera? I rolled a 52.
Oh. Oh, there you go. Meets it beats. So you get a success with no extra degrees.
Hey, I'll take it.
Yeah, she can tell you're being genuine, and you can hear this kind of sciencey. Well, I'm glad somebody appreciates what I do.
Because I do have deceive. I'm not really trying to.
Well, you aren't. Yeah, you could be lying to her, but she seems to think you're at least being not quite facetious, and like, all right, I do my best. Who are you taking besides you guys? Do you want any security? I know you're pretty solid about a shot, but extra security couldn't hurt.
Yeah, let's take some of the crew that we had last time on the last mission that we went. We seem to have a good working relationship with them.
All right.
Team bonding.
Sure. You're taking the 6-seater, right? That's you and Janthine, and Janthine can. Hang on. You, Janthine, Finnick, someone to pilot. That's 2 others.
And we'll need at least one to go with the gun, and just for fun, let's bring the guy with the flamethrower.
All right. I'm sending you with.
People are less likely to mess with people who have a guy with a flamethrower. That's been my personal experience.
That is not untrue. All right. I'll tell them to meet you in the shuttle bay.
Okay.
So.
When diplomacy fails, we go to the flamethrower.
Yes. So you are traveling with it's out of my DM notes. Yes. So
What's the name of the pilot again? With a K or a C?
all right. So yeah, you've spent a complicated time in the warp. You had some interesting things happen in the warp, but you've survived the trip through it. You didn't blow up, which is, and you didn't end up completely stranded or get into warp storms or any of the other terrible things that can happen in the warp. So.
Can't people go insane in the world also?
Oh yeah, that's a distinctive possibility. We had several members of the crew. It was definitely a psychosomatic warp ghosts, so that was fun. People from their past were dragged up, and only they could see them, so it was a kind of whole thing. Yeah. Janthine.
What's that?
Janthine.
JT, yeah, it wasn't too long ago. We were actually attacked by Trader-Koblick, the little repair robot guy.
And
Robot guy.
you yeah, you would have heard about this whole nonsense with the
That was. Anything I had to take care of that.
yeah. You and Finnick did a great job of it, actually. Yes. Let's see. So you have. So you see in front of you Johan Johansson, who is wearing. He's one of the arch militants. You guys have been on the ship for a while now. You've ended up on this ship been on the ship for a couple years at this point, so you're fairly familiar. Finnick is the astropath. He has a tail, and ears like a dog. Has, the astropathic cloak to cover the ears mostly. The tail usually covered, except when it's not. And it may or may not be canon that his eyes glow bright, brilliantly.
I know they're like gold color. I don't know if you mentioned anything about
Yeah, like, yes, golden eyes. So, That may catch fire when he does tricky warp stuff.
His eyes catch fire.
You were the one who did the Majiggy thing, right?
You're gonna need to be a little bit more specific than the Jimmy thing.
The image of Finnick, the demi-canon picture.
Right. Okay, so you're talking about the
I don't know if you count the yes, and Norm.
so his eyes actually caught on fire. I thought there was more like a glowy thing.
Looked pretty
On fire sounds painful.
true. It isn't painful, although sometimes it does get a little weird because warp is involved, and yeah, no one wants the warp. Well,
So what does Jantine look like?
yeah. What does I can tell you what her inputs look like, but I think we actually did.
Figure it's just the normal kind of red robe with some augmentations, some mechanical augmentations.
Yes, I have. There's a whole list of intangible augmentations that you have, and you can flavor them exactly how you like. But the
I don't think we'll be tasting for
um,
what flavor she is.
yeah. Oh yes, you also have a great Aquila statue. Oh yeah, you have a tattoo of not a magic. It's electronically conductive tattoo of the big statue of the Emperor from Visaria, the one on top of Terrace Vitalis, which is the big local shrine with the green plants. Yeah, so you have a tattoo of a statue of the Emperor from home. That's yes, a small box embedded in the wrist for input and export. Input, export. Then, yeah, I did put, and you can, let's see. Yes, you have the respirator unit covering your neck and lower face. However you want to flavor that, it can look like whatever. It actually helps with breathing if you have toxic gas grenades, which we did for a while.
I'm thinking strawberry cheesecake
Okay.
for flavor. I
Okay.
like it.
That's fair. Yeah.
Now, I still have a couple of those gas grenades, don't I?
You do still have a few of those. I wrote down what they did and everything, so you can carry them with you. You're declaring you're taking them with you.
Yeah.
Okay. Oh yeah, you also have you have a small pick captor, a camera on a 3 meter long flexible mechadendrite. So, you can do telescopic and microscopic. And you don't have any penalty due to dark because you have the cool and fitted with infrared and can produce colored lights. So you have a tricked out camera, basically, attached to your body, if you ever need it.
Let's send the TikTok checks.
I mean, it hasn't been invented in the Imperium, but if you want to film short videos and with comedy sketches, you can film them and keep them for the archives. Genthine came from a city world, a hive city. There's definitely, I'm supposed to be doing a thing. But, yeah.
So I guess we're on the.
Yes, so you guys meet in the shuttle port, and you all know each other, you hop into the shuttle with Nolan Borum, who is one of your guys. He's a little sometimes, but he's dependable, and he has flamethrower skills.
What's the
He's a little intense. I mean, he chooses to wield a flamethrower as opposed to a gun. He likes fire a little more than you'd consider, say, healthy.
okay.
Isn't that why he's using a flamethrower?
Yes.
Probably goes hand in hand.
Yeah. So,
And are you with effectiveness?
So, Jantine, I don't think I've ever
dearly for that one, and it's got real inlaid gold on it too.
Mm.
It's
Okay. Does now.
Well, only the best for our emperor.
crazy thing.
Um.
I don't know.
The Emperor is so old that no one remembers what his name was before when he was human. Also, fun fact, Janthine is one of, tech priests, who is allowed, if you so desire, to worship the Omnissiah. Kind of expected to. But, there is, I don't think anyone's gonna stop, anyone, you're not gonna get stopped from worshiping the Emperor.
Just saying praise the emperor, that's more like just a kind of like praise the glorious leader thing, isn't it? More than
Well, you might want to talk to the ecclesiarchy about that.
no, I don't.
Yeah. But yes. Yeah. The ecclesiarchy. He used to push atheism. Now he's worshipped as a god. It is a one of those things. But yes, you are. On your way down. There we go. So yes, you are on your way down to the planet in the shuttle, with your pilot, because none of you have piloting skills, if I recall correctly.
That's why we have pilot stuff.
Yeah, you do have a pilot.
We got arch militant stuff too. I can't use time
Actually,
the atmosphere.
if you had gone with Alara, you would have had piloting skills, but also you would have, had, no. Yes, you have,
But also, if you've got the skill, then everybody's going to keep expecting you to do it if they pass them.
there is that. Also, Janthine can, manipulate, not Janthine. You can do tech priest stuff. And a Verbank can, do, I can find her character sheet. She's down here. She is your sergeant who you have, she's sitting right in your,
I mean, obviously I know who Burbank is. I mean, I was just saying that, rhetorically.
sure. Anna Verbank, sergeant, an ex-sergeant from Volthea, who is generally, drive ground vehicles. Nope. Yeah. Who is generally your go-to in terms of, on-the-ground support. Can kick ass in a fight if needed. Generally, yeah, can kick ass if needed. Alright. Yes, so you are landing. Now, the planet you're landing on is called Koblick. The crew was here once before to stop a anti-imperial plot in a country called Igreg, which is, so you guys are going to that, actually, you have two choices.
Was I on that mission?
You were, in fact.
So I've been here. Oh, I've been here before.
Yeah.
I knew that.
But yes, the,
Familiar.
yeah, there you go. I mean, to be fair, you guys go to a lot of planets. And, this is where not Dr. Keynes is from, specifically. It is a fairly, civilized planet. There are 8 countries, all of whom, have their own leaders and international political BS. and the country, it's the planetary governor is the abbess of the Adeptus Soresta, the Sisters Hospitaliere specifically. She is the planetary governor, and therefore in charge. And you know of 2 possible merchants who might have what you're looking for. You are looking for carapace armor. Basically, Finnick had flak armor, which is, if you have heard of the ancient Terran World War II, is very similar to the armor developed during that conflict. So, it's serviceable for the guards and is a good staple, but you can afford better. Yeah, okay, yeah, the PDFs are the Red Shirt Army's Red Shirt Army, so, you know, they get what you can get. Although the PDF on this planet, is very well equipped, because they have the weapons. They're a fairly civilized world, and they specialized in building weapons platforms, orbital weapons platforms. So, they have a pretty solid tech base for such things. You wouldn't get anything great from that. Also, you would make yourselves... I mean, you could...
It's not like we would mug someone like right in the middle of town square in front of everybody.
I mean, if you want to...
Saying it's an option.
I'm not going to stop you. There will be legal consequences. The captain will get very annoyed with you. Also, it's not a great look, but...
Find out.
Alright, true. If you don't get caught, nothing, If you don't get caught, there's, nothing that anyone can do about it. If you really want to go with a mugging, I suppose that's a possibility.
You know that Johan does have a criminal background.
Yes, if I recall correctly. He,
So, I mean, he may not enact the ideas, but he does think of them.
That's fair. There we go. There we go. For those of you watching, you can now see who everyone is, and I even, I forgot to take, our captain off, who isn't here, so yep, that's another whole thing. But, anyway, let me do that. But yes, you come down to the planet, and so you have a couple options. Your first option is, you can go to... Oh, it did the thing. That's pretty cool. You can go to the spaceport in Helmonte. There's a merchant there by the name of... Ian McAlfer. He is an arms dealer of some sort. You've worked with him before. Great guy. He's down in Malacca City, but you'd have to go to the Helmonte spaceport because it's, there are 2 places you can land the flyer, essentially. Malacca and, in the capital of, Christor. If, yeah.
Let's go there then. He's a great guy. He's an arms dealer. What more do we need?
Yeah, absolutely.
Great actor too. Love his work.
Names are hard. Okay. So.
What was his name again? Ian
McAlfer.
McAlfer. Yeah.
yeah. He does have a bit of a questionable background working with mercenaries, but that actually might not be a bad thing necessarily.
But we're not mercenaries, we're rogue traders.
That's true too. Doesn't mean he won't sell to you though.
And we know he's a great guy. And obviously, if we thought he wasn't a great guy, we probably wouldn't have a good relationship.
That's true. He does have his business dealings are a little
Don't care.
okay. Cool. So
What he does in his own time, not getting us equipment, is his own business.
that is fair. All right. So yeah, you are going to see in McAlfer, an arms dealer in Malacca City. So, first things first, you land in Helmonte, and it is warm and sunny out. Absolutely gorgeous.
Whether satellites are working properly.
Yeah. Well, actually, you can. Do you want to get uplink? So, it is a, a civilized world, so they do have some pretty decent tech. And if you wanted to pop your uplink cable, you could pop into the networks they have. You did see several satellites on the way down. You could probably hack the network and learn all sorts of cool stuff if you wanted to.
The planets.
I
Telling me that mugging a person is bad, but hacking into their
I
security system
I
would not piss off the
Um,
at all.
it's a less noticeable and less violent crime. But also, if you asked nicely, they might just let you uplink. You wouldn't be able to get everything, but you could, potentially get some stuff.
So, did we have to report to any authorities that we were coming?
It's considered polite, and you do, as you get into orbit, you are, Odette's been on the line with them. They did see you coming. When you came into orbit, generally, what you do is you warp, like, right toward the Kuiper Belt area, toward the edge of the system, and then come in, so you don't accidentally hit the planets, unless you're doing a military, high precision, urgency military drop. You generally warp in, toward the edge of the system and come slowly, come in at, under, traditional engines, just, you were stopped about a planet out. You did get noticed, and Odette was talking to a couple of the security guys, but since she had a copy of the captain's warrant of trade, and once they saw that, they're like, well, sure, going in. But yes, so they do know you're coming, and you notice as you land, they have a display screen up mounted, which is a lot of tech for planets to have. Not display screens in general, but what it has on it is essentially a radar overlay showing any object in the sky, just displayed up. So anyone who was in the port at the time would have seen your approach and landing.
Do you have any enemies here?
Well, you mostly got rid of the anti. A couple local businesses are on the outs, in Igrag, in southern Igrag, which is just to the north of here. Malacca City is just to the south.
We need to know why.
Some of their storefronts got trashed in a shootout with the anti-imperial terrorists. So, obviously they know it was necessary, and they're still kind of niffed at that. There is, a really nice donut shop up in Southern Nigrag. Yeah.
I obviously would have admonished the crew who got missing their shot and had them do extra target practice because I know it wasn't me because I would hit my target.
Yeah. Obviously.
Obviously, it wasn't me hitting any.
Mm. True. But yeah, there's a pretty good donut place in Southern Nigrag that you went to a lot back when you were chasing them down.
I could imagine that too. Like we're in the middle, running through the street, chasing after these guys, and I'm like, oh, hold on a second.
Well, yeah, you also had a whole investigative period where you spent a few days there getting the lay of the land, setting up a shootout, and going to the local donut shop because you're hanging out around this city. You're going to the local donut shops. I know Johan and Malef. I'm like, you're going to the local donut shops, hitting them up. But yeah. And as you come out of the shuttle, your pilot agrees to stay behind in case you need a quick getaway. The first thing you notice is that the entire
I was thinking the same thing.
I don't think you will. I have confidence in your abilities to negotiate and settle your way out of here within the frame of law, but yeah, there's a couple of like restaurants, kind of extra tax-free set up inside, and then you cross over the boundary line, and there is a bunch of soldiers set up with a perimeter with a bunch of soldiers set up.
First thing first, I would recommend to our traveling group that we stop off for lunch before because you never want to go into these situations unmaking something.
Sorry for my kind of.
Oh man, I get so hangry. You don't want to see it.
I'm Mang shrugs. I am not opposed to lunch.
See if they have anything interesting. We can't get back on the ship.
They have fried plantains, and they have other a lot of fresh fruit, which is kind of tricky on the ship. You can ship it back in stasis, but it's expensive, and it's whatever planet you get to, what they have available, and they have a lot of fruits here that you've never seen before.
I'm thinking I have because I've been here before.
True, you've seen some of them, although you weren't. Yeah, you're like, oh, these ones. I remember these ones. These ones tasted good. You don't remember the name. Actually, if you want to remember, you want to roll an intelligence check to see if you remember the specific names of any of these fruits, these tasty local ones. That.
I'm pretty confident I don't remember them.
Yeah,
I don't remember them.
fair enough. But you look at them and like, oh yeah, this weirdly teal one that has an interesting color, but like it's really yummy. And yeah, it's the local special fruit salad, and they generally serve fruit salad before at the spaceport, especially because they're trying to show off the planet essentially, and fruit is one of the big exports from this spaceport. One of the main things they ship up is tropical fruit because they're right on the equator. It is air conditioned in here, but when you go outside it will be hot. But yeah, you're right on the equator. Helmonte is the tropics, which is partly tropical fruit is their main export, which is why they have the spaceport here. It's one of 2 on the planet. Well, actually 3, but the other one is a military use one that's used to ship people in and out of orbit and PDF to and from their orbital defense bases and the occasional Imperial Guard attaché to ship their weapons up, because that's the other big thing. It's weapons manufacturing for the Imperial Guard, tropical fruits, and there's a few other random stuff they manufacture that gets occasionally shipped up. But That's the big one.
Can we get meat here?
Meat, yeah.
Okay, because I would order some meat with my fruit salad.
Yeah, I mean, the fruit salad's just kind of a standard starter. And then they have whole menus full of other stuff if you want. Um,
And how are we paying for this, by the way?
um,
I don't recall. I don't remember seeing any listed lunches.
so yeah, you essentially in Rogue Trader, you guys are fabulously wealthy interplanetary jet setters. You generally have spending money, unless you want to purchase something really specific or valuable. But for lunch, you guys have cash, assuming one of you remember to bring it. Yeah, you guys have enough throne gelts of local currencies too. There is a currency exchange, and other planets in the sector, because they're all Imperium, they generally do allow for exchange of currency. You pick up some local script. Different planets mint their currency, so if you have a planet that has enough international trade, you can exchange their currency for.
If we needed to do that, I would have done that. I would have had us do that the first,
Yeah,
right after we landed, because normally, like, if you're going through,
airport, that's one of the things you do. You swap your currency. Yes. But yeah,
I never want to be without currency in a new location.
that's true. So yeah, you probably.
Standard throne guild.
Yeah. Exactly. So you probably had some from a well-known hive world that nobody ever had any problem exchanging and just set up with some locals. Local script's actually fun. It's they mint paper money, and it's printed on blue paper, and it's got a weird holographic mark that has this picture of the emperor. If you wiggle it right, you know, it's pretty cool.
I'm also going to set up. I'm going to talk to people and arrange a rendezvous point. If you get separated, or like attack is separated, and you need to meet up, always good to have a plan of escape.
All right.
And I know we're heading to like an arms trader here, but is there another merchant just kind of set up in the spaceport with a general?
Yeah. It's the main. There's just basically the restaurant, and then they sell basic toiletries. But if you leave the spaceport, because you're gonna have to leave the spaceport if you want to go find your guy. He's in a completely different city, so you're gonna have to go. If you want to send a message ahead of time, you can. Now that you're on planet, you could absolutely have done that ahead of time too, depending on.
I don't want to just show up on this guy's front door.
True.
We would have made sure that he had the armor that we're looking for before we travel all the way to a different city.
All right.
It'd be pretty awkward to get there and he's like, I do not know of this armor you speak of.
All right. So, usually procuring things in Rogue Trader, there is a specific roll that you make. So the ship's profit factor, which I have, I actually calculated out this roll ahead of time, is 62. So basically, if you want something like lunch or easily available, you can just buy it usually. Especially with a profit factor that high, you guys have money for other things. If you want something specific like armor, let me availability. All right, and yeah, it's over 100,000 of the population of the planet. Yeah, so you depending most stuff is automatic on a planet like this. Trying to find stuff. Oh yeah, you have that, but yeah. So.
What's this arms trader's name again?
Ian McAlfer. So, there is a mechanic called a what's the word? The technical term. Ammo, no. A acquisition check, which basically, let's see, Carapace is, so Enforcer Light, which is what you guys have, is just rare. It's not, it's very rare, which is the Stormtrooper stuff, which, has one more degree of protection than, your Enforcer Light. And, oh, right. That my point on that is, your point is you're gonna have to make a roll for it, essentially, and to see if he has it, and that roll is modified by a number of things. If I can find the
I already rolled several times today. Why don't you guys get that
all right, let me find
tank warmed up?
What are the dice used for?
D100.
Okay.
So, I'm trying to find the, there's a whole explanation in here on how to roll these checks. So essentially, you get, add up, no. Acquisition tests. Yes, acquisition tests. Alright. Let's see. Important aspect of profit factors acquisition. So it's being able to purchase new equipment, resources, and retainers, cover anything from bubble guns to boarding torpedoes, and is one of the heart of the expansion of their dynasty. You share the group's money as being in the upper echelon of the ship. You kind of have your own personal finances, but you share a lot of the yes. Yeah, exactly. So it's a D100 roll against the profit factor, made at the same exact acquisition, same way as a characteristic test. Let's see.
Either your commerce or your inquiry.
Yes, that's to talk up. It's a modifier to talk up people. An acquisition test is made against the ship's profit factor. And rare is, so it's minus 10 because it's rare. Yes. Yep.
Alright, I have to say that this system kind of sucks. That you have to go through this much work just to figure out if you can buy something.
Well, generally, if it's something common, it's easily available. The idea of it is that if you want to upgrade your weapons and stuff, it adds a little bit of drama of, can you get the good stuff?
Yeah, I don't want to. I want to know if I can buy it.
Well, go.
Because, I mean, it sounds like you're having to do like 15 modifiers.
Yeah, but I would have done this all ahead of time if I'd remembered to, do this. Let's see.
So when Rob rolls the dice, what is he making the check?
He's making a check of how easily are you going to be able to get this.
What's that?
You're rolling against the 62. Essentially, you're rolling against the ship. Is the ship, the idea behind profit factor is, the wealth and connections that the ship you guys have as a crew. Um,
So Rob, roll a percent. If you roll under 62, then you got it.
it's actually it's there's fucking whole. There's a whole. There's a whole list of things that they. The thing about the rulebook is that it's set up in a really janky way. Certain things, so um, uh, um, there's an important table that I'm missing, but I had this all sorted out and ahead of time, and then I forgot because we didn't play for the month. And
The table you're looking for is on page 111.
111.
Yeah.
Is that the?
Ability by population, time, all that.
Well, yeah, that's the. That's doable. No, the
Gives you the modifier though.
it's there's the one that has a list of how much it gets bumped up because you have you're only looking for one. The because this table is here, and then the yeah, it's yeah, so it's it doesn't have any modifiers because of the planet. The you know the guy, so that's I should have had you roll on that too, but that's a whole other. And then they have the availability modifiers. Oh, here it's all in the same. Yeah, it's a negligible scale, so it's a plus 30 and then a minus 10 because of the rareness, and then there's no extra bonus for the rareness on the planet because you're on a pretty high solid planet. They put it in the same chart, and my brain screwed up, so I'm sorry about that. But generally, I would have had you roll this ahead of time, and depending on how do it. Okay, I am sorry. Essentially the idea behind acquisition test is are you going to have how much drama is going to be involved in getting Finnick this armor? So I need you to roll a D100, and you're looking to get under let's see. So I would say it's at least good. So it's plus 30 minus 10 plus 20. You have to roll under a 72 on a D100.
48.
Oh, there you go. All right. So, see, I should have had this. I kind of botched this. I had it right after last session. I set up exactly what the rolling was needed, and then I forgot. So, I didn't write down all the details other than having to do it, which is why you write down when you do DM prep. Otherwise, you just waste that. But yes, it does so happen that he has a set that he's willing to sell you. He has a couple sets, but he's going to need to A, see Finnick for fitting, and B, he wants to talk favors, because it is a tricky thing to get. So,
I kind of figured we'd have to go meet him in person, seeing as I doubt he was going to just ship it to us.
yeah, that's true. You can't exactly do shipments like that.
Yeah, I'm gonna be having these conversations with his secretary or whoever I need to talk to
Yes.
about all this while we're eating lunch.
All right.
I'm like,
Yeah.
Hey, we'd like to head over there and see if you guys. We know
Uh, what's personal friends you say, huh? What's your name?
My name is Johann Johansson, the 45th.
Johann. Wait, like that idiot who runs the planet. The what's it planet? The one with all the actors.
Yes. That would be him.
Uh,
There's a lot of Johanns out there. We're kind of our own faction at this point. We have so many Johanns. It's kind of
yeah. No. All right, Johann Johansson. All right. That's. I don't remember ever hearing of you being working with Boss before.
oh yeah. We're back in that deal. We helped him. That's where I met him the first time.
Hmm.
And we did some work on the planet and did some jobs that required his services and yeah.
Uh huh. So, you're running your own mercenary company, or?
I'm a part of a road
Oh,
road trader.
you should have started with that. I remember that whole kerfuffle. Yeah, that nonsense.
It was pretty nonsensical if you ask me, but that's our life.
Well,
Whenever you throw chaos in, things tend to get kerfuffly.
yeah, chaos. Yeah, that. Let's.
But anyways,
Oh, yeah.
one of our astropaths needs better armor
An Astra.
because we keep getting shot at for some reason.
Why are you bringing your psyker to?
Because you can't pick him for armor if I don't bring him.
That's not what I meant. All right. All right. Come to Malika. You're coming into the Helmonte spaceport, right? All right. Come down to Malika.
Yeah, that's where we are.
When's boat should be in what? If you're in the spaceport now, figure it's gonna take you about a day to get 5 hours down to get across and to the city. And he's in Malika now, so come south, not north.
Okay, we'll be on our way then.
All right.
See you in 5 hours.
All right. Wait. What? All right. Yeah. Talk. Ping me again when you get close to the. When you get to the docks, we'll set up a proper time place.
Okay. All right, gentlemen, are you full? Are you get your grill on?
Yeah, I should be all set. Did you find out any more information about this armor?
Well, we need to head south, and they weren't expecting you to come along, which I thought was kind of weird because I explained to them, I'm like, well,
That
that's not how armor works. You gotta actually fit me for the armor.
that's not what she meant, but okay.
I guess. I don't know.
No.
To be honest, I'm a little dubious about the secretary of this. I always wondered about her. Was it him or her?
Uh,
Was it his down?
kind of on the feminine side, but very deep. With a feminine cadence. So, you've briefly met them. Older woman, chain smokes AO sticks, which are mild narcotic that is derived from a leaf that you can gets turned into smokables a lot. It's a lot like it has high nicotine content and other mild effects, a lot like earth tobacco, but earth got poisoned and tobacco is extinct, more or less. But you can get IO leaves, which are very similar. So,
I get the feeling that she's upgraded her smoking habits to something a little bit more nefarious.
You completely misinterpreted what she was saying, but you know.
You absolutely misinterpreted what she was saying.
Now you see why we need someone in the party.
I think they're more in question of why are you taking the psyker onto missions where they can get shot at.
Well, because that's what the character's playing.
Yeah, that's true. Also, Finnick also has battle psyker capabilities, to a certain extent.
I'm not telling some random secretary his life story.
Yeah, that's fair.
That's need to know only information. I don't want everyone
I-
knowing that our psyker is able to shoot people.
That's fair. Yeah.
Well, anyways, we gotta travel south and
Yes. So,
by boat. We're going by boat because we gotta meet him at the dock. So
yeah.
we got to go arrange. We gotta arrange transportation.
Yeah.
Then.
So, yeah. So as you head out, you do get stopped. As soon as you get into the intra-territorial zone, you get stopped. Because now you're entering planetary territory, and essentially this is how they run the thing: is you can come and go to the spaceport whenever, and they don't question it too much. As soon as you step out of spaceport territory, or if you try to land a flyer anywhere other than the spaceport, you're going to be shot down. They have actually decent shooting down capabilities because they manufacture these things on planet. And as soon as you leave the spaceport, you are subject to search. They want papers. They want ID. They want papers. They want to do.
Gentlemen, I know we've done this before. We've been here before. We know the drill.
Actually, the first time you got brought in as a favor to local law enforcement, and they brought you in through Zanwar, the Zanwar spaceport, which is the military-only one, and you didn't have to go through civilian channels, which is kind of cool.
But we would have had to have gone through all this to go see the arms dealer.
True. Well, once you're on the planet, you can do whatever fairly commonly. There are borders, but if you get a stamp as having come through on one of the spaceports, it's internal passport. They don't check passports if you're from off-world, essentially. If you're from on-world, you need passports to go between countries. Off-world visitors get free access.
I'll hand him whatever papers he needs.
Yeah.
That would have prepared that for us.
Yeah. You would have been granted. You have your ID cards from planet of birth. Finnick has a paperwork from the Astra Telepathica. Janthine has. When you got press ganged by the Adeptus Mechanicus the first time, they gave you a little ID cards, and yeah, you all have.
So, Jantine, you've been press gang multiple times.
Oh yes.
Sounds awkward. Like, guys, you don't need to press gang me again. I'm already slow.
The first time it was what happened? After an archaeological dig, when you run away from the Adeptus, the strict Imperial orphanage, you're smart and helped on the archaeological dig, and because you're really smart, the Adeptus Mechanicus was like, nope, you are now part of Adeptus Mechanicus. You are now mechanical. So,
That's a very weird thing to just tell us, Jantine. I don't know where, but I appreciate the backstory.
sorry.
Just wait for the hazing rituals. He gets wild.
Yeah. But yes, you are. You do spend time getting checked and scanned, and you get a wristband that they snap on, and they say, "Do not lose it." because if you reissue it, if we reissue it, you're gonna have to get fined, and you're gonna have to get detained, and keep it on you. Yeah, that's true. You got it's different color this time. Notice, before you came through as guests of the local law enforcement, you got green ones. These ones are orange. It's tourist visa versus a special military operations visa deal. It doesn't necessarily change anything, but small things. And you do go through health checks. Basic health checks. They look through any obvious signs of disease. But you're all fairly healthy, so you pass through no problem. And you are flanked by your 2 bodyguards, and you are off, heading out. Yeah. So, you do manage to procure passage on a ship heading to Malacca docks. Essentially, it's a basic ferry. So, here's a question. You can take the basic ferry, which will take you... it stops at a bunch of islands. It's... and, but it's quiet and discreet, and nobody pays attention. There's the rule of public transit, everyone's a weirdo, so you don't ask kind of deal on it, where you can kind of maintain a little bit of anonymity. Or you can try to book a private ship, a charter boat, if you will. That will leave a bit of a paper trail if things go south. Probably won't go south. It probably doesn't matter if you're leaving a paper trail, but it will buck a paper trail.
I'm confused. Why would a private one leave more paper trail than the public one? Because the public one, anyone and everyone can see you.
Yes, but anyone and everyone can see you, but there's no record. You know what I mean? You're just one more stamp on a list of people who pay their fare and go through, and there's bound to be someone really weird because public transportation. So they'd have to go and they'd have to ask, and maybe they remember, maybe they don't. If you book a charter or private one, there's a record of you signing for, the service contract. So if someone wanted to go through the records, they could, and they wouldn't have to, count on the random ferry captain remembering one of 1,000 people who got on the boat that day. So,
It's slower than the private one, right?
yes, it is slow because they have to stop at all the different islands.
All right, gentlemen, let's get a private one.
All right.
Works for me.
Okay. Yeah, so you head up down, and there's a bunch of taxis, dock taxis waiting. But yeah, you get yourself I feel like this. All right.
I don't know about you guys, but I like the private one because that way I can stretch my legs out. I don't have to
Oh wow.
looking at me.
Interesting. Yeah. It's pretty slim pickings as you head down. In terms of finding one. So, you do end up on a pretty, janky boat, but it does accommodate all 6 of you. And the captain swears up and down that it'll get you there.
Hopefully you can row
No, they do have engines on the boat. But only accepts cash and generally, but it's what's there. And a lot of them kind of balk at going all the way to Malacca because it's a long run. A lot of them do local. The water taxis are for local stuff. But yeah, one of the big ones. We're taking a bunch of big shots up to Igrag for a conference.
I don't want to hear your backstory. We're in it. We have a meeting. We need to get to.
Oh yes, of course. Sit. Welcome aboard. Please sit down, and you will have. No worries. Come. And you settle in, and it is a long 5 hours down. And seats are uncomfortable, and it's a pretty small boat.
That is the exact opposite definition of question.
I told you. But slim pickings. And you can feel the thud of the waves as you go. And interestingly, a lot of the boats have basic digital informational computing setups. This one doesn't. Janthine, you would note that. No interlinks of any sort.
Somehow I think the representative at the docks guided us to the maybe not the best of these services.
Maybe not. Well, there's a little behind the scenes stuff going on, but yeah. Actually, that might have helped, but yeah.
Gentlemen, I think we need to go to the behind the scenes meeting where they give us the good stuff.
Yeah. So, yeah. And then down, you see a couple of tails flop up, as you're heading along. And the boat has, the guy who originally, ushered you aboard and 2 assistants, and
Do we at least get drinks on this boat?
if you ask, they can offer you some water.
That's not it. That's just hydrating. I didn't ask for hydration. I want a drink.
Yeah, you don't have any anesthetic?
Kind of tilts his head. That off-world booze of some sort?
Any booze. I don't care if it's local
That's fine.
booze. You think we... Nah. Might stay sober. Gotta stay sober when you're driving a boat like this.
I didn't ask for you guys to drink. I asked for us to drink.
What? You don't have any drink with you?
That's the purpose of getting a private boat, is so that you can get like food and extra stuff
You could have...
that you don't normally have on the common.
You could have brought it with.
Yeah, I could have, but that's not why we got the service. I could have brought a giraffe. Because you guys don't have that. But that's not what we're looking for. Giraffe. You don't have giraffes on the world you came from? We got roaming hordes of giraffes.
I
thought everybody had.
Wait a sec. Now I have to write this down.
Are they like some flesh-eating monsters? Where I came from, there's a lot of those.
Well, yes. But these guys, these flesh-eating monsters have like long legs instead of stilt and a long neck. Maybe even longer neck. It's horrifying because they can like reach over a wall
Yeah. Yeah. Um.
Now I derailed Lee into having to write down new lore for
Yeah, Balboa has giraffes. Apparently. Feral giraffe population. Not wild, they're feral. Um. I don't know about angry, but yes, feral giraffes. Balboa now has feral giraffes, so that's a thing now. Okay. But yes, they roll their eyes and say they don't do that. They're a boat. They take people places. But you did have the sense to yeah. To eat before you got on the boat, so you're
Imagine being on a 5-hour trip with no food services being offered.
yeah.
I feel a little bit safer that it is 5 hours because I wouldn't want to take this little rinky-dink boat on a 3-hour tour.
No, of course not. uh yeah, Johannville has feral giraffes.
No prom connection, no drinks, no food. Are you sure you brought enough gas to bring enough fuel to run your craft here?
Well, yes, we have extra fuel. You don't want to get stranded with a little ship like this.
Okay, now pretend that you did get stranded. What would you eat then?
They kind of look at each other.
Because you don't have any food on your ship.
They look at each other. They look at you. And look at each other. And they do begrudgingly offer you ration bars.
I push a
Yes.
food bar into my masticator.
Yes.
It's a little device on my side.
Yeah.
Chews it into a little paste and squeezes it into my stomach.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Basically. Yeah, you can't regularly.
Like, is he stuffing that into his armpit?
It's around the armpit, yeah.
Yeah. I mean, you could put it anywhere. Why not?
Then I use nerve stimulation just to simulate the taste to whatever I want it to be.
That's true. Yeah. You can do that. But yeah. Actually, fun fact about the ration bars, they are flammable.
Flammable?
Yeah, they're flammable.
Parts are gonna be amazing.
All food is flammable. That's why it has calories.
That's true. Some of it is easier to light than others, though.
Why would you tell us that?
Well, okay, you're sitting with the flamer who's bored. He's gonna try it. You brought the guy who is gonna try to light the ration bar on fire if he gets bored.
Well, he's more than one. I thought the ship guys were telling us this.
No, the ship guys are huffy and annoyed with you, but you've worn them down into offering you.
No. They think they're annoyed with me. I'm super annoyed with them and how lousy their private ship is.
Yeah, it's a taxi. It's if you need to get there, get there. Generally, people bring food. Yeah.
Are you telling me they don't have like upper class or rich people on these planets?
They do, but the rich people get you know, if you wanted like a good one that had a, you know, you would have had to wait. All the really swanky taxi services were being used, essentially, because you,
Well, this one was advertised as swanky.
it wasn't.
Big butt.
It wasn't.
I said janky. Janky. Not
Yeah,
funny.
right.
Little typo there in the description.
Yeah.
Little misadvertising for my
But yeah. But you notice they have sandwiches, but for themselves. But yeah. Yeah, you're
Are the sandwiches flammable as well?
they don't let no one get his hands on them, so you don't know. But yeah, he has like a lighter, and it's been lights up the. It does burn, and the sergeant kind of rolls her eyes. Did you have to? It's good to know of these things, just in case, for you know, practicality purposes. You got to know if your food can light. And he keeps.
Be careful when you're lighting stuff that you don't set the boat on fire because
He just rolls his eyes. I'm not gonna light the boat on fire. And he's flicking the end of the flamer. She's like, I know better than that.
you said the last time.
That was not my fault. But near the of the engine as it kind of putters along, and you do make it safely. It's a little touch and go with the water, but you know, and you can see the clouds gathering, but you do make it, and you get to the Malika, and
Well, thank you, Commodore, for such an enjoyable trip. Sure to recommend you to our friends.
yeah, you see, it's a good trip. Got you here safe, just what we promised. No more, no less.
Alright, let's get moving.
All right. So you head down onto the docks, and this is, as you come by, there's a, kind of come to the end, there's the immigration booth, but as soon as they see your wristbands, they just open the gate and let you through.
Hey, Lee, Rob said he needs to take his dogs out. Can we take a
Oh, sorry, I wasn't looking.
small break?
Yeah, we could absolutely do.
I hadn't sent it to you yet. Yeah, if I could get like 10 minutes.
Yeah, absolutely. We can do a quick 10-minute break. That is a very fair thing. Okay. All right. Do you want to stay on stream for the break, or do you want us to, like, I'll shut down the video and we can, or take the video off of air and we can all take 10.
Makes no difference to me.
Okay. Yeah, let's do that. Let's do a quick break, a quick stretch break for everyone. We have at least a couple people lurking, so hi everyone on stream. We haven't had anyone in chat so far, but we've had some fun friends lurking, so the other Rob is lurking, so but also Lord Gazumba had his stream today, and he's got really cool people on, so that happened. But okay, I'm going to do the thing with the thing. You are let me go here. All right. You are all heard but not seen. Wait a second. No, you're not even heard. I'm heard. Okay. I can put you on if you want. No.
So we're not seen or heard?
You are heard now. I can take that away. But you are not seen. You're effectively invisible. And
That is one of my life skills.
we can talk to a few we have lurking. We can talk to each other. I'm gonna go to the bathroom real quick. Be back.
And I am going to go get some hot dogs for lunch.
All right.
Alright. I am... I actually have been keeping an eye on things. I'm back, secretly.
Welcome.
Alright. Alright. Gotta remember timing. I know you have to leave at 1 work.
Hour 15.
Noon.
Basically.
Yes, noon
Yeah.
your time, 1 our time. On the mysterious East Coast of it is, you know. I guess it's not so mysterious. But yeah. This is a fluff session because fuck. You guys are in procurement thing. That does not mean there won't be complications. I just need to think of good ones. But also,
Well, for our flamethrower's sake, I hope that there are some complications, because he'd be sad if he didn't get to use it.
yeah. I mean, I've had Rogue Trader players who decided that instead of, going out and trying to do Rogue Tradery stuff, they wanted to found a pizza parlor on a planet
What?
that had no pizza.
Why?
Because the planet didn't have pizza and they were sad about it. So I made them jump through hoops to get all the ingredients and stuff lined up. It was actually kind of cool. One of their players had power armor, and he got to be like the logo, and it was a whole thing. It was Renthok. And they went and tracked down a wanted criminal, and then turned her in for the bounty, and then deputized all her minions as pizza parlor workers. like you do. But yeah, so you guys are well, plan is snag this, and then I'm guessing you're just gonna go get diamonds. I was kind of hoping you'd go rescue the captain's daughter, but consensus seems to be that you'll go to the diamond planet.
Correct me if I'm wrong, but I believe when we were deciding where to go, we picked this planet because it was like on the way toward one of the other locations.
Mm-hmm.
Is that right?
Yeah. And you happen to know the arms dealer. It's a highly populated world with good trade, interstellar trade, therefore would have, what you were looking for. But are there any other escaped feral creatures in Balboa I should know about?
That you should know about.
Well, as the DM, you should know these things if Balboa.
Right, as the DM, you would be able to tell us whether it is or isn't. Not
That's true.
The other way
I've
around.
agreed to go with it. So there are feral giraffes now, but I could tell you about Hamish if you no Hamish. No, Hamish is the one. That's the one with the janky atmosphere that you can't actually breathe on the surface half the time. Let's see. Zezaros is the one that has the mammalian snakes. It's a moon of a gas giant. It has swamp creatures, and infrastructure nightmare because of all the swamps. And they refine the hydrogen, so it's hydrogen doesn't react well with local swamp gases. Flash fires are common. And then there's the red lichen, which corrodes metal and grows everywhere. And then the equator and tropics are mostly agriculture. Yeah, and you can't eat a lot of the local stuff, so other local herbivores can, that then are eaten by the alligators that are 25 to 30 feet long. But I had actually figured out what the crops were that they grow in the tropics there.
Lee, is this all information about the planet we're on?
No, this is information about Cesaros. I can give you information on Koblick if you want.
No, I'm good for right now. I was just wondering, like, if that was information we should have known about going on to this planet.
True. Going on to this planet, let me find Koblick. And you would have gotten all this in a summary from Odette.
Mm-hmm.
She did agree to type it up for you. The planetary governor is a sister hospitalier. The abbess, the first one was Sister, let's see. Sister Fitzkelly, was the first, of the planetary governesses. She, the abbey is not in any one, country. It's in the northern continent. You are headed south. Helmonte is where you're going in. A kind of bridge. They control all the trade routes and collect tariffs along the border. Through ships passing through the various straits between the northern and southern continents. You can go around, but it's a lot longer route. So most people just kind of chalk up agree to pay the tariffs, and the country makes a good chunk of cash that way. Igre, there are bordering countries. You got Igreg to the north, which is on the southern tip of the northern continent. It has a very Florida-y vibe to it. especially along the coast.
Okay.
It also has very low taxation on alcohol, which is
So there is a place that has alcohol on this planet.
oh yeah, you can't buy alcohol on the planet. There wasn't any on the boat you were on, but yeah, you can. They specialize in fruit liqueurs, but if you buy it directly from the manufacturer, there is no tax on alcohol. There's a very high tax on importing alcohol on the other side of Xanavar, which is the no, not that's the Overking. Zanwar, that's the other planet, not the other country on the other side of the border. So a lot of people smuggle it over just because it's to avoid the high tax. And there's a whole illegal subculture. Dr. Keynes' brother was involved with that, and actually became an informant for you. And she actually helps with basic triage when a couple of your people got wounded, and ended up coming with you because she lost her scholarship because it found out her brother got caught. He got immunity because he helped turn in the anti-imperial people, so he got immunity from prosecution for being a booze runner, but because he was still, publicly, it was on record, the local government who was funding her medical training stopped funding it. So she came with you guys instead. And but yes, that's Igrag. South Malika is a little more cosmopolitan. It's these large big cities. It's a manufacturing hub, very terrible soil. Despite being on the edge of the river, the mouth of the river, there's soil, so you can't grow anything, really. But it does act as a port for, because it's it's got easy access to the northern continent by being the farthest north on the southern continent. All the agricultural products get shipped up the river through Malika, mostly through Malika City, and out across the strait, where Helmonte is this mostly just large islands. It is, in fact, 8 major islands and a bunch of minor islands, if I recall correctly. That's the whole thing with the river. There's a whole history. In south of Malika, there's Sorkia and Sordax, who were one country when the planet finally got under imperial control, but split up not long after. A lot of urban sprawl. No internal regional divisions. It's only 4 big cities and suburbs, and with the manufacturing.
Okay, Lee, you about ready to start?
Yes. Oh, did we get our friends back? Oh, you got back.
We're all back.
Yeah, I didn't notice you were back. Welcome back. I was just giving some background on the planet because I world built this stuff. All right. Okay. I am cognizant of the time, and we are gonna do something fun. So, but yeah, you get. Oh, right. Let me go to here, and I will swap it. You are now seen and heard. Hello, everyone. Welcome back. We have our players back, so we have our shenanigans back. And you are heading into Malika City, the shining gem with the downtown. And you can see, even from the docks, once you get past the border control, who just kind of, they do ask you precursory, do you have any weapons? And
oh, yeah. And I tell them, yep, got a whole bunch of them.
Yep.
Not to worry, I'm licensed for all of these by the Emperor himself.
By the Emperor himself? How does the Emperor doesn't just grant your imperial?
How would you know?
Inquisition?
What?
You're telling me that
Do you speak for the Emperor now?
Me, I speak for the Abbess, technically. Well, I speak for the the president elect. The new term starts in a week. It's technically I speak for the outgoing president, but you know how it is.
No, I don't, because I run into circles of the Emperor where you're down on this planet here.
I
So please enlighten me. Tell me more about your inefficient backwater
we're
customs
not a
here.
backwater. Our planet manufactures the Imperial Guard's best weapons. In fact, Malik actually makes a lot of the does a lot of the metal work.
That's what I hear, but I mean, I have to struggle just to find a decent set of carapace armor here.
Carapace kind of looks you over.
See,
You're
look,
looking
you
for
see that look you gave me? That shows me that you're not as advanced as you think you are.
I know what carapace is, but that's like
Exactly. That's what I'm saying.
that's strong stuff. I mean, we barely get any kind of gestures. You do notice that he has a Kevlar vest under the uniform coat, and that's what they get for armor.
Oh, good. I'm sure that Kevlar vest is going to stop this kind of stuff that we deal with.
What is that, like 40,000-year-old technology?
Yeah, it works. It works.
Works.
Well, you're in good shape if someone attacks you with a knife from 40,000 years ago.
I mean, to be fair, knives haven't changed all that much, and it will stop I've been stabbed. It does actually do a lot for contemporary
The shape
knives
of a
too.
knife hasn't changed, but the metal used to form the knife has.
I mean, yeah,
God.
true. We make the good stuff, but that stuff's expensive, and the local yahoos on the street who try to stab customs agents don't use it.
There are also like, power swords and things out there too, so
Yeah, but not on this planet. All right, Who are you exactly?
Johan
Powerful.
looks at Phoenix and nods his head as if, see what I'm talking about with you underwhelming technology?
Hey, we make some of the best. Like my hometown, we have a manufacturing plant. We make the best metal in the Imperium. Great alloy.
that's debatable.
It is some of the best. It's used by the Imperial Guard in all of their top line interatmosphere crafts.
You know how many billions of members of the Imperial Guard
Okay.
are out there? They use a lot of metal, I will tell you
Yes,
that.
ours is some of the best though. This sector has really good interatmospheric craft because of metal made on this planet.
At any rate, we're here on behalf of the Road Trader and system.
Oh!
And we're trying to get to
Rogue traders. Okay. Well, if you're rogue traders, I guess if you are rogue traders.
Yeah. I thought
right.
you would have picked up on that when we presented you with our papers. The one that said Rogue Trader on it.
You have regular old. You don't have anything special on your bands, so just regular. I'm gonna ask you to peace band the weapons, though.
No can do, compadre.
I don't think I can give you my mind.
Kind of tilts. Oh, yeah. That's. I will tell you, unauthorized use of psychic powers to cause general mayhem, harm to other persons, or compelled behavior is strictly illegal, and I will have to arrest you if I catch you at it. That's
Right.
gonna have to be.
Right.
Or he could fry your mind if you tried.
We can dogpile. I've taken down a rogue psyker before. It is not fun, doable.
Well, anyways, I am not peace bounding my donuts, and those do count as weapons in my hand. Just saying, you know how ridiculous it would be to peace bound 6 donuts? Ridiculous.
The donuts can stay. Those are reasonable enough. As a personal food item, they are allowed under rule. If you try to bring in more than 10 dozen, there'd be rules against.
Wait, I was allowed to bring 10 dozen? I thought it was. Oh, well.
I mean,
Odette, are you there? Odette?
But I can assure you they're not a bomb.
Odette?
Yeah.
Can you please make a note next time that we travel to this planet that we are able to travel with more than How many donuts did you say? How many?
5
I think
dozen
this
is the maximum
I'm
for.
allowed to travel with 5 dozen donuts, not just six like I thought. Could you add that to the file for the planet, please?
The information would have been nice to know ahead of time.
Actually, it depends on the country. Our limit is 5 dozen small pastries. Yes, that's actually a law that someone had to write because of
It's
reasons.
not as many as you think when you have a 5-hour boat trip with no food.
Well, if you allow me to piece spawn the weapons, you can go through and it's not a permanent piece binding. It's very easily removable. It's
Ah,
just
probably.
a basic precaution for anything really tense. Just to
Well, if it's easily removable, what's the point?
the point is that you have to remove it, and if you remove it, then we know you've used the weapon. And if
I've just untied the knot, doesn't mean I used the weapon.
the point is, it makes using a weapon in difficult and obtrusive, which means that you can't sneak up on somebody because so you can't start shit, essentially.
Is that what they teach you guys? I
It
can't sneak up on
it
people
is
with a
proven to
peace-bound
be
weapon?
since we've started peace bonding, we have had a 80% reduction in violent crime. Now, there were other factors as well, but the peace bonding is shown to be effective at preventing crime. Are you going to let me do it or not, or I'm going to have to bring in the upper brass?
Just do it. Get it over with.
They're like,
I don't
yeah,
feel
all
it.
right, all right, all right. Here,
Yeah. Okay, yeah, it's kind of cool. All right. But yeah, he does bring out red string and just loop the weapons and tie them to holsters. So you're basically, you're going to have to take a turn to break it. You either have to use a blade of some sort or pass a it's a, I think a plus 30 strength check. It's nothing hard, but you know,
Okay.
yeah, it will take a half action to bust them out. But
All right,
this
so
is
can we get out of here now? Is there
yeah.
do you have services that can taxi us to where we need to go and that they'll know how
Depends
to
on where
find
you're
stuff?
going, but there's an information desk through there. If you move through,
Thank you. Have a nice day.
yep, gives you a nod. And you notice that uh, you saved through a lot of the inspection simply by having the bands, proving you're from off-world. Saved you a lot of that. Visible weapons are a
Okay.
little more thorough. Although you could have smuggled them through without a pat down, probably. So, but yeah, you have your weapons piece found. You head through, and it is a vast, sprawling docks. I don't know if you've ever been to, say, like Port Authority or like a big airports where there's a lot of people. Of all different ethnicity shades. There's a lot of that a lot of different things, and there are some common facial features you're seeing over and over again. The way the eyes and the nose are very that are fairly common. There's like a range of them that are you can kind of get a sense that these are features that are fairly common to this planet, much narrower range than you would find on, say, a planet like Earth, which had more
Good.
evolution time and to develop distinct populations. And yeah, there's that. There's also but the skin tone does vary more than you'd expect on things, and it is a huge cross section of various groups, from different countries. It is a big international hub, and there are booths, and you remembered that you have a Vox caster that can tap into on-planetary radio Vox channels, and you have a code for what's his name? The McAllister's secretary, and she said, that she could arrange if you would Vox when you hit the docks. But yeah.
Okay, so I will contact her then.
All right. Yeah, what do you want? Oh, it's you, isn't it?
Yep, it's me.
All right.
We're here at the docks now.
All right. It's mid-morning now. Got an afternoon slot. He's got cleared. If you want to have for a proper meet and greet, we can go over what we got. Get your boy fitted and or your person fitted, I should say, and talk price. And there's a few things. Well, get the fitting, talk price. Whole deal. Say hour past noon.
Sure.
All right.
What time is it? What time is it now?
Up at the clock. It's about. Let's see. You left. Yeah. So you left first thing in the morning. You lucked out. You landed at the spaceport in local morning, very early local morning. So when you headed out, you headed out first thing. So it's just about noon now, maybe a little before.
Okay. And are you going to send transportation, or are we supposed to find out?
Yeah, I can send someone.
Great.
How many you got?
6.
6?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I'll send them with the van.
Well, 5. We have 5. Well,
5. All right, I'll send them with the van.
Great.
Meet,
well, gentlemen, we have an
there's
hour
a place
to shop.
called Malcolm's. Good local place. Cafe. They serve food. Meet my guy there.
Okay.
He'll be the one with the blue hat.
We'll be the one with the guy with the flamethrower.
All right. Hopefully, they didn't give you too much trouble with it at customs.
Apparently not. They were more worried about our psyker than they were about the flamethrower.
Well, they probably made you peace bind it. Listen, if you weren't an internal, they would have confiscated that shit out of that. And luckily, they just made him peace bond it. All right.
Yeah, that's the funny thing about flamethrowers is it doesn't matter if it's peace bonded, you can still pull the trigger.
Yeah, but you have to aim it.
Yeah, but peace binding doesn't stop the aiming of a flamethrower.
Yeah. So what they did with the flamethrower is they bound the hose part to the his shoulder strap. So he could set it off, but it's actually right next to his head. He'd probably be fine taking the extra, hit with it. A lot of people would not be willing to pull the trigger on that. So basically, it's an incredibly, essentially you'd have to,
Right.
It's linked up. You can't hold it out and do it like you usually do. It is peace bound. They did peace bind the flamethrower. They're not. They're serious. This is a violence prevention program that they've tested. Whether it holds up to twitchy off-world pyromaniacs is a but yeah, it is peace bound.
All I know is that the criminal underground here is not very good if they stopped by a bunch of silly little knots. Saying that
Well, the
nonsense wouldn't
criminal
fly
underground
on the
doesn't have to go
planet that I
through
came from.
customs. They don't get peacebound.
That's what I'm saying. If you have people walking around with non-peacebound weapons, and then you have people who are,
It's so that anyone who starts shit is in their jurisdiction, and they're not gonna start shit and then leave and have to be extradited. That's their main concern. Plus anyone who is coming and going all the time, so is going through constantly and having to do and undo the peace bindings. So it's mostly to prevent out of town people from causing trouble.
well, that's what I just said. That the local criminals here
Yeah.
just.
But they have other factors on the local criminal. It's a multi-pronged approach.
Same.
Um,
All right, guys, let's go get some food.
all right. Yeah. So
You guys think they'll have fruit salad here?
they do
Likely.
offer it. It is fairly common. Actually, no, you're well out of Helmonte. You can order it, but it's not a big thing because, they're not trying to show it off and, set out.
Well, I mean, it's not like we traveled far from the equator. We went 5 hours. It's not like
5 hours. True. It's still fairly tropical, but it's also shit soil, so there's no big agriculture here. Mostly manufacturing and other stuff.
Right.
So, the local specialty is called kep. It's flat rolled bread, and then you can put whatever kind of sandwiches, fillings you want in between. Oh.
No.
Okay. Oh well, sandwiches. That's a step up.
Yeah. So yeah, you have sandwiches. And as you are hanging out, having all sorts of tasty sandwiches, and they do have pastries as well.
Okay.
Not donuts exactly, but they have some really good fried dough treats that are pretty good. But as you hang out and have a good solid fuel, as you're lingering over coffee, you're approached by a gangly person in a very sharp looking, intensely sharp suit and tie, undercut hair, he comes up to you and is like, and you can see this very, very distinctive and very, very ugly and very, very non-matchy blue hat. And you can see as he comes in, he's just looking around, fairly conspicuously. One of you want to make an awareness test?
Sure.
Any of you can if you want. It would be a roll against your perception skill if you have the skill awareness.
And then is this sight or sound?
No, you can make a psycher check if you want.
No, is it based on my eyes or my ears?
Eyes. Definitely eyes.
Okay.
Yes, you have very good hearing. Ooh, you have good hearing. Good to know. Keep that in mind.
Okay.
What did you guys get?
That's just 1 degree of success.
1 degree of success. Okay, that's pretty good. You do notice this guy is packing. It's concealed, but not. He's definitely got a gun, in a very. The way the outer part is cut, it can be easily pulled aside and pull a gun, but is not very obvious that it's. It's obvious to anyone who has any kind of military background of, noticing these things, but it's not blatantly obvious. The hell pistol, nothing really good, well made, and not peacebound. And although you can see the red string cut So it clearly has been piecebound before and just been like quick cut. Like there's a couple, so this has been piecebound multiple times and just auto cut off. With a degree of success, you also notice that you are being observed. There's a couple very scantily clad young women, and granted, a lot of people aren't wearing a lot of clothing because it is fairly hot, so people are showing off more skin than not your the guy who's very clearly the one coming to collect you is very well, but a lot of people are showing off skin, so it's not necessarily weird. And it's cut in a way. It's like, is it just she's more comfortable, or is it and freedom of movement, or is it trying to be sexy? Kind of that weird, but who has been sitting there for a long time, lingering a lot more than you'd think would be, kind of clearly hanging out there and watching people. Now, whether that's sinister or not, you're not sure, but seems to have taken interest in you. So
We are probably the most important people in the building, so
that's true. You're tied to rogue traders. And most of these people are just local, dock workers. A lot of tourists too. So yeah, a lot of people are just not any people of particular importance. But yeah, you have the way that the cups are stacked. You're like, this. She's been there all day and kind of has just been watching you. So what her play is, you're not sure. You can see she's joined by another very similar looking woman. Two of them taking turns.
To be fair, would we know that she's been there all day? We would only know
you
that
wouldn't
she's been there
necessarily
as long as
know,
we've
but
been there,
she has a
right?
kind of stack of empty saucers there, indicating that she's had multiple cups of coffee.
Okay.
There's a lot of stacks. Like, this person's been here a while. Also, she was there when you came in. You've been lingering for quite a while, waiting for your, for about an hour. Still there,
Right.
and
fair enough.
had extra empty dishes in front of her when you got there, and still does. So it's a little weird, and you're kind of like, huh, that's someone who is watching, like observing purposefully, hanging around long time and observing, but nothing necessarily interesting, inherently off about that, but she is like keeping an eye on you, and is carrying a weapon, a
She's
knife,
carrying a
in
weapon?
the boot. So,
Okay.
but yes, as soon as your guy shows up, you notice immediately. You're like, oh, the blue hat. Yeah, that's the one they sent. Who's obviously hates this damn hat and is probably wearing it just so you guys know that he's the one you're supposed to go to get your ride. Yeah.
All right, gentlemen, settle up your tabs. We're leaving.
All right. You settle up the tab, and you and as you kind of notice, kind of makes his way over. Nolan kind of heads over and talks to him a little bit. Kind of comes back. Yeah, it's our guy. And you can see them talking. But yeah. Roll another awareness test.
No.
All right.
That's a 98. I don't
Yeah.
think that's gonna.
Yeah, you're settling the tab and
You totally lost interest in them. After
yeah, well,
first,
the
you,
waiter
like,
had a
noticed
really
them and you're
interesting
like,
shiny thing, and he had this really cool, interesting necklace, and that fell out of the shirt when they went to take the dishes, and it's like, oh, you got distracted. Gentine can be making awareness tests too if you want, to see if you notice any of the cool stuff happening.
Oh, sure.
there's just cool stuff happening all around us. We're just like,
Yes, do you have a D100 percentile dice?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. rolled,
and you have awareness as a skill?
Yeah, you mentioned that earlier. That's why I didn't roll. I don't. Yeah, awareness was not
Do you not have awareness?
It's not a part of the character sheet.
Oh.
It is a basic skill though, so
Yeah, so you can
if you
roll.
make it the check, you cut whatever your perception stat is in half, and then that's the number that you need to roll under.
Yeah. That's.
Okay, my perception's 44,
Yeah, so you have to roll a 22 or less if you want to
and
notice.
I actually rolled an 11.
Oh,
There you go.
So you are. There you go. So yeah, you are on
That's
it.
also a degree of success.
Yeah. So yeah, you have a full degree of success. Yeah. So you are particularly observant. And you're not usually into, but this is. It seems janky. So you notice this, and you specifically would notice tech woos, because you're tech priest. You're kind of looking at the local, seeing what the locals have in terms of augments tech. She's got a built-in, maybe not built-in processor, but certainly attached around her ear, a micro, like a small personal computer attached at the ear. Not as small as a microbead. It probably does stuff other than just
Not just communication,
yes.
but other things.
Well, okay, one of them has that's definitely a hole in the skull and has something going in, and has it that's attached to an earpiece. The other has just an earpiece that's not attached to the skull, not bone grafted anyway. And she does tap it very quickly, and click a few things when she sees your ride. So, and she definitely recognizes him and is clicking a little buttons. So that's
How far away am I from her?
About 100 feet. Like,
Oh, okay, pretty far. Not a social distance. Okay.
No, not a social distance, but and it's enough that you can kind of see.
Right.
There's a few people between you, but yeah. So, toward the edge, actually, right next to the door. Another kind of tick, like, people sitting on the edge near the door. That's a observe people watching spot if you want to kind of get a good look at everyone in the room. And keep an eye on who comes in and goes out, essentially. So, you do notice. What you do about that is up to you, but it's definitely has been watching you, knows who you're, the person coming to pick you guys up, and is doing some sort of reporty thing with it. But yeah. But yeah, you head over, kind of removes the cap. You guys are, going to see Old Man McAlfer?
You're talking about Ian, yeah.
Absolutely.
First
I want
name
to get his
basis.
autograph.
I mean, he has a reputation in different countries, but, never anyone looking for an autograph. They're always looking for guns. I got the van.
Well, I think you misunderstood my friend here. He was making a joke. Like when you order stuff, you have a sign. You have to sign your
Oh,
name.
like a bill of lading.
Right.
It's John Hancock.
Yeah, I always heard that was a dumb ref. Like, it's all the way back from Old Terra. You ever know what that's from? It's an ancient thing. Anyway, stop in. And they have a van, essentially. It's a delivery van. It does have, you would notice as a tech priest, definitely has been modded with some sort of built-in something. Weapon, tricksy, something. There's some, it's heavily modded out, but it's it's kind of been modded in a way that's, you overlay the mods so that you can't tell exactly what's been built into this thing. Purposely nondescript. But
When you say mod, are we talking like 22-inch dualies, or we talking like mechanical arms and?
It probably has some sort of mechanical outreach that can be used for workbenches and stuff. The inside is definitely has, you can see, foldable. The seats fold out, and it folds into a workbench to fold back up with seats. It's probably the only vehicle they have that's big enough for 5 people. But the rims are, everything's fairly standard looking on the outside, but you can kind of see the way the metal's cut. It's got seams that you could pull, and you're not sure what's in it, but something can be pulled out of the external body, some extending something.
Does it say free candy on the side?
No, it actually is completely unmarked on the outside.
Yeah, I saw a couple vans like this on that while we were sitting around, drinking. I was watching the TV over there, and they had a show on, and they were like Mod My Ride. You may have
Oh
heard of that
yeah,
show.
no,
Yeah.
it's actually very interesting because they do have a TV in there, and they actually are showing a local a sports a game that it's they're throwing a ball and running after it. The colors are distinctive. It's very clearly a local contest of the local sports.
Does the van have any windows?
It does actually. It has one on one side, and the windshield on the front passenger.
Just one, huh?
Well, okay, it's got two for the front. There's the front seat and the driver's and the passenger side, the windshield, and then there's the back. The back it's attached. So it's not a straight truck where you have the cargo completely cut off. It's accessible via the driver's seat, the back,
The cab,
and it has a sliding door, so you open up and you can get in, and there's some seats, and there is one small, about quarter of the way across the side window in the back.
All right. Typically, the vans with no windows, those are like the rape vans. I just wanted to make sure.
No, there is a window.
Okay.
No, and yeah, and there is a back windshield too.
Protect
It
your
does
orifices.
have a cool little painting overlay. Some like a really intricate mural work, and when you go in, you can kind of see through it. But it's this really interesting, intricate painting of the cityscape from Malacca City.
Are there any imperial symbols that are visible?
There's a little Aquila on a chain dangling from the rearview mirror, but nothing overt. It's not.
All right. I make a little note. Not enough flair.
Oh yeah, no. You also notice that there's a machine, a skull cog. It's fairly small, right up by the driver's side, between the window for the driver's side door and the window that on the side. There is a mechanic, a skull and cog icon, which is the Mechanicus icon. Etched in. But yeah, it's a fairly simple looking van. Kind of gesture door. Hop in. Try the buckles. I know it's Space Faring types, but trust me, you want to buckle.
Well, I get in and I buckle up.
Yeah. The seats are pulled down. All right. So it kind of pulls out into traffic, and there's a fairly lot of traffic. This is a big, busy city center, and you can see it's a mix of various types of vehicles. You can see the charge ports, the coin-operated, they take bills, but the operated charging stations on the side for where people park. There's for electric. There are you can kind of see at least one fuel station of some sort. So there's a mix of stuff. And as you're going through the city, there's some traffic, and there are kind of a setup. It doesn't look very obvious as exactly how the setup works for traffic, but there's very clearly patterns and laws involving when you can stop and go. And there's a bunch of motorbikes zipping around most of them are just kind of going past. One of them, though, okay, who's sitting by the window in the back? And who's sitting in the front? Because one of you can take the front seat. Any of you want the front seat?
I'd rather be in the back. but-
Who called shotgun?
Yeah. Well, it's up to you guys.
Okay, I'll. Janthine will sit in the front.
All right, so you're sitting in the front, and you do notice fairly standard display for a ground vehicle. Couple thousand years from the latest Mars, runs. It's nothing fancy.
Any ports or interfaces that I could plug into?
There is a local one, and then a secondary, satellite with the antenna that's kind of set as a block that will let you tap into local satellite networks. The public one, there's, it's a basic public one. It's not going to give you anything intensely personal, but it has
sports and weather.
Yeah, it is, and you can. That does have a code, a text, based, and it offered. There are options if you want to jack in. But yeah. Yeah, you can jack into the usual one, and then it does have, you can notice, a Vox set up that lets radio frequency communication happen. And then fairly short range. It would probably be half the country, maybe, for this setup. And yeah, so do you want to jack in, or?
Yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah. I want to plug
in. All right, so you click in. You get all of. You can. There's the information channel ways. You can get any official government updates. They have a whole government information list, and then they have so a lot of. They have a lot of mercantile stuff. They have a couple of privately maintained sites that are sending out that have people have put up for various reasons. Personal blogs. There's a lot of stuff available. It can be posted. The usual array. It's an intranet, so people use it for social posts. Various groups maintain sites that are easily accessible. You have access to not the web, the full World Wide Web, but basically a lot of the same stuff that gets put up on the web. So some of it is password protected or kind of tucked away if you want to explore it. Are you looking for anything in particular?
Not at the moment. Just listening to
right.
any information.
Yeah. But yeah, you have access, and you can look into the government channels. And you do notice, actually, you probably wouldn't notice.
Should I roll?
Is anyone going to take the window seat?
That's in the back, right?
Yes, there's one window seat in the back. You could be looking out the window, but I'm guessing you're kind of running processing, trying to see what you get access to when you pour it in.
Yes.
Yeah, sure. I'll sit next to the window.
Okay. So if you're looking out, make an awareness test.
Ugh. All right. No.
There's a lot of stuff going on. There's cool. You notice this kind of weird little local domesticated carnivore thing that people are walking around with on leashes. They're really interesting. You've never seen a creature like this before. And it's kind of distracting. So you don't notice when a bullet comes, solid projectile comes smashing into the window.
Oh, that's fun.
Yeah. The glass is, it's not glass. It is certainly solid, bulletproofed. So it doesn't go through immediately. But the next few shots might. Bulletproof only holds up to so many before it crumbles.
Before it fails, yeah.
Yeah, I'll kind of react, go like, oh, we're being shot at.
And you can hear the driver swearing under their breath, like, fucking, alright. Okay, now would be a time to break the peace bonding on your weapons. And you can see him kind of pull a lever, and, there is a small mounted gun as part of the tricked out, that comes up. It's not very high caliber. It's nothing really fancy, but, it's, what caliber is an AK?
7.62.
Yeah, something like that. That caliber.
Okay.
30
But-
cal.
It's light arms. Yeah.
Yeah, it's light arms. But, so, and you, you're still kind of moving, so it's like, I can open up the side if you want to shoot back.
Can you see what we're being shot?
It's from that side, driver's side. I don't kind of. There's something goes whizzing past. He ducks back and fuck. They're on a motorcycle. God damn it! Just
Hey, I'm gonna be
swear.
checking through the back, see if I can find this motorcycle.
All right. So are you looking out the window or?
Yes.
Okay. Roll another awareness test. This time with +10 because you're actively looking.
No, it's 77.
Okay. So you don't see it. There's a lot of motorcycles around. And you're kind of get a weird view because it's a fairly small window and it's fracture. You can see some of the cracks on the outermost layer of the covering. You want me to pull the side down or no? All right.
Sure, pull it down.
All right. So,
And while he's doing that, I will break the peace cord
all right.
on not only my gun, but on a grenade.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Oh, this is going to get fun. Okay.
Traveling down the street, car chase, throws grenade.
I have really high aim. I'll be fine.
What
could go-
It's going
what
to
could
be
go
a
wrong?
very difficult shot, but okay. This is where we get to the fun part. So, I'm going to do that, and we're going to, let's see. This is going to be there. Okay. We're going to do my crazy mapping technique. Let me just set this up to happen. So we are going to, what is that? Is that here? Nope. Okay. This has to go away. Remove. Yes. Okay, now I have to add it again, and this time I have to remember to do the thingamabob. You know, why 2 piece for far. Okay, now window cat. Nope, not that one. That is not what we want. This one. And then we want this one. There we go. And then, yep. Okay, so you see a blank screen in front of you. This is, I'm going to put it here. Yeah, put it right below, over your names. Okay, so if you see the stream, you will see a blank canvas. That is meant to represent, okay, so you've got...
Did you post a link for the stream? I don't see it.
Oh, a link to the... Yeah, I can post a link to the stream. Sure.
Yeah, thanks.
In the Zoom chat? Yeah, that'll work. Okay,
Yeah.
let me... Stream. Yes. http://www. Yep, that should work. and then you should be able to see a stream where we
Yes.
have, yeah,
Okay, thank you.
and yes, it's a little janky. I know, very well aware that it's janky, but it is a system that has worked in the past. So essentially, you have several lanes of traffic. Okay, you have several. No, let's stop it. Thank you. No. It's different. Okay. You have civilian car here, civilian car. This one's a little smart car. You got the a little bit of bigger car here. And yours is no, man, you're orange. You have
We're all and everybody's moving, right?
yes, it's kind of stopped. So you're at a crawl pace of 5 miles an hour.
Okay.
So you're
Because
not,
of traffic. Okay.
yeah. You're about here. And the sidewalk is with a bunch of no, that's we got people, random civilians. Yes, you're here. These are, the scale's a little janky. But so those are just civilians. You have your driver guy here. You have the Janthine. I'm going to use dark red for you because you're Omnisaya. You're there. I'm going to make Finnick purple. Unless you want a different color.
I don't care.
Okay. Finnick is here. Then Johan, are you across from Finnick or next to Finnick?
I guess I'm across from him. Whatever.
Okay. That's a hard to see color. Nope. No. You're green. There you go. And then you have your two people. Okay, and so yeah, you're here, and then you have your one more civilian. That, and you have a motorcycle that's about here, that's kind of lane splitting. Alright, so you're being attacked from the motorcycle, and for now.
Can we see who's firing the shots?
Once he takes down the sides of the van kind of click into, and this, about half the van opens up.
Okay.
It just goes down, and yeah, you can see the motorcycle with the young one from before with a gun.
Who's wielding the gun?
She's a woman who was sitting at the restaurant before, has the gun. And the one in front of her, she's on the back. The other one's in front of her and is driving, driving the motorcycle. She's kind of sitting behind with the gun.
I'm going to shoot the driver.
Okay. This is where it gets tricky. We need everyone to roll initiative. So,
what do we roll for initiative?
Use a D10 and add your agility bonus.
Everybody rolls?
Yes.
So, I know nothing about combat, so
all right,
you'll
so
have to break it
essentially,
down.
You have okay, I'll give him a 3. that's pretty good.
So Rob, only used it. You used the tens place on your agility and add that to your D10.
Yes.
So my agility's 36. You said so I add 3.
Yes.
Yes.
Okay.
Nolan. Who's there? Johan Johansson, and let's see. She gets. I have her stats too. This is why. I know we're cutting it close on time wise, but let's do it. Okay. Ziel.
Your cat is adorable, by the way.
Thanks.
Yes.
She's real sweet. Although it's a little bright.
Craig, I did put. Yes, I did put. All right, her agility's 30, so that's also an 11. She goes at the same time. I think he has the same stats, right? So, ooh, okay. Janthine, what did you get?
Oh, I hadn't rolled yet. I got a 5 plus 3. I got an 8.
8. Okay, you're kind of going lower in the initiative. He gets a.
Natural 20.
I mean, you could get an extra 10. And actually, if you have bonuses, you can get ridiculously high initiatives.
Oh, yeah.
Janax plays a Space Marine in a game that has something like +9 and just.
I think it's just a +8, but then
Yeah.
I can do another thing to give myself advantage, and it's, yeah.
Yeah, it's like. Almost always goes first. Except when you don't, and then that's actually really fun. But yeah, Johan, Finnick, what do you got initiative-wise?
Finnick is sitting at 14.
Disgusting good initiative. Okay.
I've only got a measly 11 on mine.
11? Okay, yeah, puts you in the exact... The driver and Anna Verbank also got 11s. Your flamethrower guy got... Ooh, they're fast. She's going first. Okay, that's... Well, no, Finnick's going first. She's being a little slow on the uptake, and what's this guy got going on? Alright. Also a little slow on the uptake.
I'm wrong. I have a 12 because I have a wary.
Oh, right, you have the little bonus. Alright,
Right.
that puts you... So that puts Finnick first. What are you doing? You
Okay.
see the guys on the motorcycle.
I do see them now. Okay.
Yes, you do see them now that you've got the entire side of the van goes down.
That makes things a little bit better. Okay. Well, I'm going to go ahead and... Do I want to go all in? Judging by my rolls today, maybe I should. Yeah, let's do this as a +3 push.
Oh, okay.
So there's going to be funky stuff.
Yeah.
I'm going to attempt to compel the rider to shoot the driver,
Oh, well that would
which technically isn't suicidal.
no.
Because they're
taking other,
attacking
yeah,
someone
because
else.
they're not. Yeah, no. I'll allow it.
So I need to make a test here first.
Yes, and she needs to make a willpower test against you.
Yeah, it's versus my check, but let's see.
Right,
So
it's an imposed test. Okay, I'm using the fancy.
I rolled a 14 plus. I get a lot of. I got to scroll back up. I think it's +5 per psi rating.
Right. So, or it's a -5 on your, or +5 for your target. So, yeah, that gets that going down real quick. And she has
50.
1 degree of failure. So yeah, this might end this combat before it really I had a whole, it's all right.
Nice.
Given the timing, I think probably for the best. But
That's like 9 degrees of success.
yeah, she does the thing. And okay, wait. Now I have to double check something with the warp and pushing.
Yeah, I also have to roll or does it use do I roll again for the psychic phenomena, or do I use the roll that I have?
You roll again for the psychic phenomena. It's a
Roll
separate
again.
roll. If you're rolling on the table at all, yeah.
Okay.
All right.
Let's see. So 59, which is also a plus 15
All right.
brain.
Um.
74.
Yes. 70. Okay. Which is, you're very lucky. One
Okay,
more and you would.
well, but I'm gonna just go ahead and use because I am sanctioned.
Oh right, you have
So as long
ever.
as it's not a peril of the warp, I can turn that into Hoarfrost.
Oh.
Let's do that instead.
Okay. So yeah, you can turn it into frost essentially. Um.
Which I guess I should roll for the distance. I don't think it matters too much.
Yeah.
1, 7,
Um.
14. 14 meters.
Yeah. So you. 14 times 3 is 4, 30, 40. All right. So you spiraling out. It's about. Um. Like. Um. This whole area. Roughly. Not exactly, but it just covered. Everything gets covered in ice. As you do this, she kind of you see this, and Jensen, you're not incredibly familiar with psychic technique. It's not your, you're not a psyker, but you've seen some things, and you see immediately you see Finnick, his eyes start to glow, and it looks like flames. You kind of glance back, and that does look like flames, and they're not literally on fire, but it certainly looks like it. And you see the motorcycle, and you hear the shot, and you hear the whine of the engine, and the scream, and the skidding. The bike skids out of control and smacks into the side of another car, of this, here, yeah, of this truck here. Yeah, this one here is the motorcycle skids over here and crashes. Everything, stops. People slam on brakes. There's a lot of bumping fender benders because, no one was expecting there to be frost on the ground. No one knows how to drive in snow because these people are,
Tropics.
yeah, they're from the tropics. They have no idea. It's like, probably a lot of them have never even seen snow or anything, and everything just getting iced is just, no one's ever seen it. It's the middle of summer, so, well, this is just not, a lot of them have never seen this. This is just unheard of. Everyone's shouting. And it is 1 o'clock. And I know you have to go right at, you have a thing, right?
Yeah.
So, but it's probably good that you defeated her quickly. So, you guys are here, and, the car in front of you, does move, and, because this car, this truck, like, stops, the guy in the van pulls jams the car in. This is not safe. This is a very bad move. Managed to turn the corner and, go off down a side street. There's a few cars, but, basically fleeing the scene of the crime, and, in the confusion, no one's paying a lot of attention, and you can see the windows going right back up. So you are fleeing. I'm not even gonna make him make the check.
Okay.
I mean, my weapon is still peacebound. I did nothing.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, because you have a bolter, but it's peacebound. So yeah, yeah. So you guys are, if they call up cops, they might come looking for you, maybe. But you can hear sirens, but it's getting places in a city is, tricky. So you are, and you can see, this is interesting, Jansen, you would notice this, the paint has there's he kind of flicks a switch, and the paint color on the van changes. it's a weird greenish color now. It kind of tries. It's a chemical reaction. It's not gonna last, but and the internal temperature goes up by like 10 degrees, and he's like, heat activated. Sorry for baking you guys, but it changed the color. They're not looking for a green van. They're looking for a white one.
It'll warm us back up after we got chilled.
Yeah, that's true. How'd you do that? Is that a normal thing for psychers? The ice thing?
Don't know what you're talking about. She seems to just go mad and shoot her own driver.
Yeah. She's not. She's got a. Those two are their sisters. She's shot her own sister. That's a not a good thing.
They must have some familial problems they need to work out then.
I mean, I'm pretty sure
Well,
they
too
got
late
some
for that.
interesting thing. I mean, I don't want to listen to the rumors, but yeah, but shoot him like that. That's not normal, right? Oh, fuck, I don't know what to do with that. They're not shooting at us though, so that's good. I'll have to call Sezzy and tell her she's gonna be pissed. I'm supposed to get you guys safe back. Yeah,
Big fish.
that's fleeing the scene. Well, I mean, we're witnesses. Fleeing the scene as a witness is not a crime. So even if they do catch us,
You're driving a van that changes colors because obviously this has happened before, or else you wouldn't need to do that kind of stuff.
I mean,
and you're telling me that you're worried about being a witness to a crime? Really? You're an arms dealer, aren't you? Aren't
yeah,
you
we
guys?
witness crimes all the time, but being a publicly noted witness when the cops want answers is you gotta avoid them.
You change the color of your van. They're not going to know who you are.
Yeah, let's hope so. All right. Fuck, we're gonna have to go the long way around. It's gonna take a while. So you guys are in the van.
Okay.
Well, I better take off, but thank you guys.
Yes, thank you.
Oh,
for
thank
coming.
you for
I
making
appreciate
short
it,
work of
and
that lady.
I didn't expect it to go that fast.
I was not quite expecting that either. I realized the timing, and I was like, and then you're just like, well, okay, I guess we're doing this. But yeah,
See ya.
All right.
Peace.
it's out.
All right.
Okay. So there's that. Thank you all for coming. We have a few people watching. 5 actually. So at least some of them aren't you guys. Lord Gazoom is also on though, so I think that's probably where everyone is. And they're still going. I thought maybe they'd finish. And then
I told
everyone
you,
would come to
Lord
see us, but-
Gazumba's everywhere. He's always there. Always.
All right, we're gonna raid into him actually because I know you have beef, but
No, we don't have beef. I don't know him. He doesn't know me. I'm joking around.
Sort of. Yeah, but yeah, let's go. Well, raid into Lord Gazimba. Thank you all for coming. For those few who are sticking around, welcome. My name is Lee. I am, usual crazy enemy. Do fun tabletop RPG stuff, and on about once a month we do one of these guys, and we have all this nonsense going on with the Rogue Traders, and we have a new friend, Rob, who's cool. I don't have a shout out prepped for you. I can prep one for next time if you have any website you want to push, any professional, any cool
Nope.
art stuff you want to pimp, anything like that.
Nope. I'm just a regular run of the mill gamer.
Yeah, well, very cool. On
You
top,
can check him at his website, runofthemillgamer.com.
Yeah.
yeah, and up top we have Sig, who is also known as Jeff, who is a very accomplished artist who has this cool project thing, and you should back on Patreon. I do, and we should have a freaking round table. We could at one point. I could do a highlight show of your of all time. lore.
Okay. Sure.
That could be kind of fun. I keep meaning to do that. I also owe you one more company of the freaking anvil. Because of reasons. The last company. Okay, so we have cool people. I'm there. I put in the where you can find me on the thing. Oh yes, if you want to join the Discord, I should also, if you want to babble about how cool Warhammer is, fun stuff. We have some of the lore available there, and you can request more. It is a good time. Our Discord. We have some fun times, and also you always know when we're going live, because Twitch doesn't always tell you. But if you're on the Discord, you will get a ping. Other than that, I think we're good. And if I remember to put ahead of time that we're doing it, which was not so great today, but pings, things. Yes. Okay. So thank you all. We are raiding into Lord Gazumba, also known as Jay, who does Greyhawk. They have a special Greyhawk shenanigans going on. So they're running like first edition D&D. So we're gonna raid. Take care of yourselves, everyone. It's tough world out there. And I will see you all on the flip side. Let's do it. Ready?
Right.
Boom.
All right.
And then we are connected, so we can